Hello, my name is Chuck Hill, and I'm a musician in Tampa, Florida. This lesson is for week 1 of Introduction to Music Production at Coursera.org, and I'm going to talk about how to record an electric guitar or bass with an amplifier. For purposes of this talk, I will be referring to guitars, but everything here applies equally to bass. Now, there are two main reasons why you want to record a guitar with an amplifier. The first is that an amplifier is an integral part of a guitar's sound. This sound is shaped by the electronics of the amp, solid state or tubes, EQ, built-in effects, the speaker type, the cabinet, etc. While many DAW plugins do a fairly decent job emulating any number of amps, many musicians and producers prefer the sound of the real thing. The other main reason to record with the amp is to allow musicians to monitor the sound of the guitar directly, which provides them instantaneous feedback as opposed to the latency or slight delay that is introduced when monitoring via the output of the DAW. This can have an impact on the groove or the tightness of the recorded performance. Now, the most basic way to record an amplifier is simply to put a microphone in front of it and record using the microphone. Basically, you just hook up to the amp, put a mic in front of it, hook the mic up to the mic input on your audio interface, have the player play the loudest as they're going to play, and then set your trim, so you make sure you set your levels. Nothing in the red. There's varying opinions on where you should actually point the mic. Should it be at the center of the cone of the speaker or off to the side? Basically, I would just say experiment with that and try to find the sweet spot where it sounds the best on that speaker. The next technique that we could use for recording with an amp would make use of a line out or recording out if your amplifier provides it. This is an example of a line out on my amplifier, a Galen Kruger 100. You use a 1/4-inch TS cable to connect the line out from your amplifier to a line in on your audio interface. The guitar hooks up to the amp as before, and the speaker is the monitor for the musician to listen to. But what you're recording is the line out from the amp, not the speaker. So it's just a preamp section. You won't get the speaker and the cabinet sound. Now, I have to emphasize that this only works if you have a line output from your guitar amp. Never use a speaker output because it's a different level. You plug it into a line input on your audio interface, you could do some serious damage to your equipment. If you're ever in doubt, you can always look up the manual and you can Google for the manual. Check the manufacturer's specs just to see what your equipment has and its capabilities. Our next setup for recording an amp makes use of a direct box, also called a DI. This is a rather inexpensive DI, costs under $30. And you'll notice on one side you have an input, which is unbalanced, which an instrument would go into. And on the other side, you have the balanced output that you would hook up a mic cable that would then go into your audio interface. Now, what you do, you notice you have two here. You connect your instrument cable, one side of the input. The other you can connect, and this will go send the signal to the amplifier. On the other side, you go ahead and hook up the mic cable, and that's going to hook up to your audio interface. This diagram basically shows you the same thing. We have the unbalanced input from the guitar going into the direct box, but that signal is then passed on to the amplifier. Okay, and then on the other side of the direct box, we have the balanced XLR cable going into your audio interface. Now, note that this is only going to give you the direct signal of the guitar. You will not get any of the amplifier signal. So you can do a hybrid approach, and you can simply add a microphone or maybe even a line output from the amp and hook that into a second channel in the audio interface and record them both. You might want to do this to give you some choices. You can choose one over the other. You might want to do some creative things and mix both signals, but this gives you some more options. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. I hope you found some of the information useful, and good luck with your future music production.